Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of podcast Aunty, and I'm your host Aparna. Please do remember to hit that subscribe button to show your support for my podcasting journey. And as you are aware, I've created this platform for all of us. If you'd like to share your own journey, talk about a topic you're passionate about, or discuss a newly opened business, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Together we can create some engaging episodes. Now, today's episode is all about something that makes us smile: food. And a journey of a talented chef who has opened a new takeaway joint, and we are going to explore this inspiring story behind it. But here's a friendly reminder: if you're listening or watching on an empty stomach, you might want to pause and grab a snack. So, are you ready to join me on a visit to his restaurant? Let's get started. Hello Cliff, welcome to podcast Aunty. How are you today?
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you here. So tell us something about yourself. How long have you been in the role of chef?
I've been a qualified chef for about 20 years. I did do a 4-year apprenticeship, so I've been cooking for well over 24 years now as a chef.
And what inspired you to open this restaurant, Pink Moon?
Pink Moon, my passion for cooking was the biggest inspiration for me opening our own business. After working for many restaurants, hotels, wineries, and not getting the gratitude, really, that's my biggest inspiration for. I thought to myself, why should I work hard for someone else when I can work hard for myself?
Fair enough. That's great. But I mean, were you into cooking since your childhood? Have you been into? Yeah.
I started my apprenticeship when I was 19 years old. So I started my culinary journey on a full-time basis. I went to TAFE. Started full-time. After about 3 months into my culinary journey, one of my lecturers, TAFE lecturers, asked me if I wanted an apprenticeship.
Oh, and that's how it all.
And that's how it began.
But were you like really good at cooking even at home, or how did it all start?
Well, walking into Mum's kitchen, smelling all the delicious Indian flavors, and enjoying the food from many restaurants.
Cool. So what was your first dish? Do you remember cooking in the kitchen, Mom's kitchen?
Probably a fried rice, probably. The simplest thing, probably a fried rice, and then just learning as much as I can along the way.
I'm sure your parents would have been, your mom especially, would be really happy. Or was there any reluctance or resistance from the family side when you decided?
Obviously, coming from an Indian family, education was number one.
Yep.
So being an engineer, being a doctor, being a lawyer was number one on their priority, getting a good education. But after I started my culinary journey, they were happy. They said, Mum said, and Dad said, as long as you're happy doing what you're doing, that's the main thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. So there was not much resistance, because back what happens, I mean, we're talking about 40 years ago, it's mainly that the women go or the girls go in the kitchen. You're being trained to cook and all, but boys are like focused somewhere else. But I believe in your case, it wasn't.
Sure. Before cooking, basketball was my biggest passion.
Oh, right.
Basketball was my huge passion. I was good enough to play state level basketball in Australia. But like my father said, Cliff, what's going to pay the bills? You're cooking, your chef's journey or your basketball journey. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all it takes is one injury, and I'm done in basketball.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So you wanted to be a coach or in the sports field?
it was my passion. It was my first passion, and then cooking came along, and no turning back. Yeah.
Do you regret that now? Like if you were to change any of those things?
I think if I had the chance, if I had the opportunity, I would have. Yes, I would have at least tried. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, we are great that you have, you have opened a restaurant and we are like trying all good dishes.
Oh yes, no regrets. Yeah.
So what's a typical day in a chef's life?
A typical day is a long day, depending on which position you're in, as a head chef or a sous chef or a chef de partie. But a typical day in a head chef's life, it's full on. It's non-stop. It's a 10 to 12 hour day. It's not for everyone. So starts off from ordering, going to see your local butcher, going to see your greengrocer to do all your veg shopping, or even online shopping for all your stock, making sure you're ready for the functions for the day or whatever's planned for the day. So
it's quite hectic. You said that you have been chef for 24 years, right? So have you had any women assistants supporting?
Oh yes, yeah. There were lady chefs that were above me at times,
Oh, right.
because I had started off as a first year apprentice. And then worked my way up. So there were apprentice or chefs that were lady chefs that were qualified. They were probably
And what happens, like, we have been as a customer, we go and we order food, but what goes in your mind when the first order, when the order comes in to your kitchen, especially when you're a chef and you also have your own restaurant? So what all thought that goes in your mind?
Well, as long as my mise en place, I'm organized, I have nothing to worry about. I've been doing this for so long, as long as my preparation's there, it's not an issue.
And what sort of preparation when you say it's like in the kitchen?
Yeah, in the kitchen, having your food prep, if you're on a larder section, having all your salads and your salad garnishes to be on the grill, having all your steaks portioned and ready to go. So, and then it just flows. It's a very team orientated environment.
Absolutely, and you need to be focused. Right?
Focused and work together.
Yeah.
So all the dishes come up together.
Oh yes, exactly.
For the same table. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And have you had any such incidents where you were not as focused and you put salt instead of sugar? I'm just.
Not that bad. Yeah, not that bad.
Okay. And what are the most common complaint from customers? Not necessarily from your restaurant, but from your past journey, past experience.
Yeah, I think more than the complaints, I think it's it's people with their dietary requirements. Really, we have to be so careful with the dietary requirements.
And now it's so many these days.
With the nut-free or the dairy-free, gluten-free, with all the dietary.
That's a big one, right? Like, because if you're not careful and people have a severe
allergy,
it can really
sure.
Oh, that's a good one. So, because you have been in this industry for the last 24 years, what are the qualities or skills or, that an aspiring chef who is trying to should cultivate?
Well, I always tell people always look at the TV and they say, wow, it's all the glitz and glamour that they portray on the cooking shows and stuff. But I always tell the young people coming through that don't do it unless you have a passion for it. It's not easy standing on your feet all day in one spot. Okay? You're on your feet all day. It's a huge sacrifice. While your friends are out clubbing, while your friends are out partying, on a Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday even, you're working. Double shifts, split shifts. Sometimes you don't even get a break. Like you just work a 10-hour shift straight because you just have to be ready.
Yeah, so you need to be really motivated. You need to know your why you're doing it. Otherwise, it could be like you can distract and you can feel like it's too much.
Sure, 100%. Yeah.
100%. Okay. What advice would you give to aspiring chefs who are trying to open a restaurant, like not in terms of those quality as a chef, but also when you're opening a restaurant? What are the things that you did for your own restaurant?
I think believe in myself or believe in yourself when you're doing it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Don't have any regrets. Like I regretted not trying it for state basketball. Now, if I didn't do this, if I didn't take the chance, I wouldn't be here where I am. And now I have no regrets. Like I'm so happy we have opened our own takeaway restaurant. And it's doing well. It's doing well, surprisingly. We've had it for about 10 or 11 weeks now. So by God's grace.
Yeah. And the name of your restaurant is Pink Moon. Do you want to tell us about why the name is that?
Pink Moon, well, my wife and I were tossing and turning about names of restaurants, and Pink Moon came up as a new beginning, like a fresh start. So hence why the name Pink Moon.
Wow, that's quite different. And a funny question: if you were to invite a celebrity, could be anyone, to your restaurant, what are those 2 or 3 names that comes in your mind?
2 or 3.
Your wife's not watching.
Hopefully not. My biggest inspiration growing up as a child was obviously my basketball, but Michael Jordan would probably be one of them.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Just didn't have dinner with Michael, and also Gordon Ramsay was my other.
Oh yes, absolutely. He's a great chef.
Great chef, always learning, always traveling the world and trying different cuisines.
Yeah, definitely. But he's also very strict.
Very strict.
Are you?
Yes.
Are you one of them?
I'm not actually. I'm very easygoing in the kitchen, but I'm focused. When I have to do the job, I make sure the job gets done. But I make sure everyone has a good time while there.
Yeah.
As long as the work's done.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. And you said that you've been doing really good. The restaurant's doing really great. What was the support like from your partner, from your family, friends? Is there anything particular that stands out?
Oh, my biggest support. None of this is possible without my wife. Really, like from painting the shop, to cleaning the shop, to helping me build a few things here, to get it all done, and just even the financial, the support that she's given me. Wow, nothing's possible without that. And it's a huge risk. It's a huge risk to take to start up something, but. It's been about 2 years we were looking to open our own thing or do our own thing, and finally we got the opportunity. So
beautiful. Yeah. And what's the best selling dish in your restaurant?
Best selling.
Make a stew.
My braised beef cheeks,
Yeah.
served with creamy mashed potato,
Yeah.
broccoli, and a pickled red cabbage. My full moon beef burger, that's very popular, and Korean beef tortillas, popular. And also our Sunday roast, our traditional Sunday roast.
So, okay, lots of beef. Is there any chicken?
Yeah, our chicken, we do. There's a lot of chicken as well, but our chicken pasta sell as well.
Amazing.
Chicken palmy. Aussies love the chicken palmy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is there anything else as a wrap up that you want to give a message to all those aspiring chefs?
Aspiring chefs, be true to yourself. Learn as much as you can in the first 5 to 10 years. Learn as much as you can. Go and work in a restaurant. See if it's for you. See if it's not for you. Go and work in a restaurant for a couple of months. Yeah. You may or may not like it. You may love it, But I think, just learn as much as you can. Just be a sponge. Absorb as much as you can. Try different menus. There's hotels, there's cafes, restaurants. And each one, just learn from all the chefs as you can. As a first year apprentice, you're learned how to chop vegetables, life skills, and very good life skills. Learn the basics, soups and sauces, boning of meats and chickens, and cutting fish as a base. And then you slowly work your way up. Really.
Thank you so much, Chef Cliff, for sharing your story and insights with us. Thank you.
No worries.